night for him. Tonight could be the second big night where he could beat a name opponent.
And the name opponent with 52 victories. He does have 11 losses. He's not always been his own best friend. Let's go to the center of the ring right now. Sean O'Grady is with Tim Witherspoon. Tim?
Thanks, Barry. And Tim Witherspoon is nice and relaxed, but I think he's fired up just enough for this fight. You know, Tim, Darrol Wilson is pretty strong. He's tough. I assume he's going to rush right at you. Tell me how you're going to attack.
I'm just going to use the jab, and whatever comes after that's going to come. But I'm just going to use my experience, whatever he come out with.
You know, you set the jab, Tim. Everything else works off that. And everybody knows you have a big right hand, but you've been working on a secret weapon specifically for this fight. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm not going to tell you about it. You're going to see it. I'm just going to use the jab. And all experienced people know that everything comes after the jab. So you're just going to see me use that. Whatever comes after that, you'll see.
Right. Get the jab working, everything else falls in place. Dan Goosen, Tim's promoter. Dan, this is really a first for boxing. It's very nice of Tim to talk to me like this. In fact, I'm going to work his corner tonight. What do you think he's going to do in this fight to send a message to other heavyweights?
Sean, first off, I think it's great that Tim's doing this, and all fighters should do it because it's great for the fans out there to hear it right before they get out there in the action. But I got to tell you, this type of exposure Tim needs. He's going to show the heavyweight division where he is today. 44 years old, he's going to beat George Foreman's record of getting that title before he's 45 years old.
Well, a lot of things to look up to. Dan Goosen, Tim Witherspoon, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's go get him. All right, that's it, guys. Tim Witherspoon says he's ready.
All right, thanks very much, Sean. And Sean, because Tim Witherspoon said he could, is going to be interviewing Tim Witherspoon actually during the course of the fight, the corner between rounds. Kind of a television first, I think. Right now, let's take a look at the numbers and see how these two match up with one another. The tail of the tape brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Just for Men, more than a hair color. It's the Rejuvenator. Here are the numbers. 26-5-2 the record of Wilson, and we already mentioned 52-11 to the one draw for Witherspoon. Witherspoon at 44, 9 years older than Wilson, and at 249. That really is as much as Tim Witherspoon has ever weighed for a heavyweight fight, but Rich Broad pointed out that some of that might in fact be muscle weight. So that's the way they match up with one another. And right now, let's take it to the center of the ring once more in Amy Hayes. Amy?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to fabulous Las Vegas, live from the Green Valley Ranch. It is time for our main event of the evening. 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting to my left, out of the red corner, wearing the gold trunks, weighing in at 231 pounds with a record of 26-5-2, 20 of those wins coming by way of knockout from New Jersey, Darrol "Damage" Wilson. And his opponent to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white and black trunks, 249 pounds with a record of 52 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw, 35 of those wins coming by way of knockout from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, by way of Philadelphia, former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, Terrible Tim Witherspoon. And the referee, Penny Bayless.
Okay, gentlemen. Trunks are high here. Punch thrown this surface considered a legal punch. Any punch thrown in this surface considered illegal. Anything below it, I will warn you. I will tell us we'll know the rules in the dressing room. I want you to keep the fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times. What I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch the level.
Give me 5, baby.
And with that, we do come to our main event.
I tell you, I'm impressed with the outfit of Amy Hayes tonight. That is definite Las Vegas, Barry. Definite, and Elvis is alive in Amy here
I think
tonight.
you should get one of those.
That's a great Elvis up.
Round number 1. Tim Witherspoon, as you can see, considerably bigger than Darrol Wilson. Wilson trying to live up to his nickname of doing damage.
Work out.
Witherspoon is not a guy who is going to get knocked out very much. Although it has happened a couple of times. Happened when he went over to Copenhagen to fight Brian Nielsen, but he said he only trained for 4 days before that fight, got himself whacked in the 4th round, and then his old pal Greg Page stopped him. They fought a couple of times, but he stopped him back in June of 1999. 1999, a tough year for Tim Witherspoon. Fought twice, he lost twice, both by way of knockout. But since then, even though he's fought guys who are not quite his caliber, he has put together a little bit of a streak, winning 7 of his last 8.
Well, I think Witherspoon was going through a few years there where it was a little hard to get motivated for him, probably just thought of himself as a journeyman. I think what happens is he's been encouraged by his recent success, that he feels he's a real fighter once again, and not just somebody going around. I tend to believe what he says about his fight with Brian Nielsen. I mean, there's just no way a guy like Brian Nielsen should ever beat Tim Witherspoon.
Well, to be really candid, I had a chance to do a number of Tim Witherspoon's fights when he was, both when he was the champion and when he was going after the championship. And he really oftentimes would just show up out of shape, and he had a lot of guys around him who probably shouldn't have been around him. And just a guy who did not come up to his capabilities. He was an underachiever. Now he's trying to disprove that.
You saw Witherspoon land a left there, and also just before that he flashed the right hand. You've got to really look out for that, especially when they're in close like this. He will throw the right hand. He kind of lulls you to sleep. He's leaning up against you. You don't think he could possibly throw a right hand over the top from the distance that he's at. But he will do it, and he is successful with it at times.
He's really not allowing Wilson any punching room either. Wilson is not doing anything.
Darrol Wilson came out fairly strong, but I think he tasted a little bit of what Tim has to offer. Now has backed off some.
Right hand at the top of the head by Witherspoon.
Been a great weapon down through the years for Terrible Tim.
Not a lot of movement from either fighter in this fight.
That's typical. That's what I mentioned about the fights. He can lure you into fighting that fight, that little bit of he lulls you to sleep kind of bout.
Come on, fellas, work out on you, and just that weight on your shoulders, it does. It wears fighters out. Take it off, we're rounds. That gives us a chance for you, Rich, to take a look at the scouting report brought to you by the U.S. Army. Kane Hawk.
Yeah, and I got my military haircut. I hope you saw that. In honor of the U.S. Army. Here's Darrol Wilson, fights at a fast pace. He started that way in the first round, then he backed off. Good power puncher. The guy can bang, no doubt about it. He's gotten some good fighters out of there. And he has faced a pretty good lineup of opposition throughout his career so far. So they're working that end swell on him already here at the end of the first round. Across the way, you have terrible Tim Witherspoon. And Cassius Green leading in from the outside. Slim Jim Robinson right in front of him. He's been fighting very much, has fought the very best heavyweights down through the last 2 decades. And, of course, his technique to be patient and then flash that right hand. There you see him coming over the top. That's what we were talking about. He's got you thinking there's no way you can throw a right hand from there, but he does.
And his hand speed actually is still pretty good. So this is the second round.
Come up, Tim.
Witherspoon both taller, bigger than Darrol Wilson.
Great to hear from Larry Holmes, the former old rival of Tim Witherspoon. There's that right hand. And that man on the top of the head, you still see the damage that it did.
And rocking, and he's still got some wobbly pins here.
Witherspoon flashing that famous right hand of his.
I don't think Wilson's all the way back yet.
Well, when you land up the top of the head sometimes like that, it can serve to make you dizzy, Barry, and it can just discombobulate you. If you recall that fight that further he is out.
I mean,
and caught up in the ring, too.
Yeah, the ropes are off the ropes. And that was a knockout. He was out before he hit the canvas, and it was right in front of us, and he's still out. There was no doubt about that.
Wow, now. As soon as he hit him with that, you could just see it, Barry. He just, oh, man.
You know what, and to Tim Witherspoon's credit, he knew it too, and he didn't hit him again.
That was shocking.
It just froze it. And of course, again, they will tend to Darrol Wilson. They will keep him down. This is usually a precautionary move. The doctor is in the ring. They're in there very quickly. Referee Kenny Bayless made sure that his neck did not stay on the ring rope, and that's where he landed. Tim Witherspoon, I mean, he did everything to be asked of him.
Well, you can see that he still throws that right hand with quickness. But our concern right now is about Darrol Wilson, 35 years old. He had won his last 4 fights, although against the low-level competition, beginning to move down, hopefully coming out of this.
Yeah, he is listening to the doctor's directions and appears to be conscious. The doctor is telling him, keep your eyes closed. Now he's talking.
Now he's talking a little bit. Usually, Barry, you find that the fighters who are seriously hurt, while these kind of one-punch knockouts or two-punch knockouts will be very dramatic, the fighters who get hurt, injured badly, or even sometimes tragically, fatally injured, are ones who take a long beating, a prolonged beating over a course of many rounds during the fight, or maybe even over the course of a couple of fights. That was not the case here tonight. Darrol Wilson just got tagged.
You know, Sean O'Grady has been looking in, and we're going to look at the knockdown punch. But let's listen to that, and then I want to go to Sean. Shawnee, I want to get your opinions of what you've seen here. Sean, you were looking in on Darrol Wilson. What do you see here?
Many times. I've seen this too many times, Barry. He was down all the way on the canvas, on his back. He kept his eyes closed. In fact, the commission here does a terrific job of keeping him down. They even held him down. The first thing these fighters want to do, whenever they get knocked out and they recuperate, or they come back a little bit, they want to jump up real quickly. Well, they don't have their balance and not ready to do that. So what they're doing here is they sit them up on the canvas, then they'll move him up to a stool, and then finally up to his feet. But you can't get too fast, because all of a sudden, you know, you've gone through a concussion. Your brain is right now is healing itself. So you got to just leave these fighters on the canvas. These guys are very professional here at Nevada State Athletic Commission. They know exactly what to do. Doctors in the ring. I see Darrol responding to some questions. So hopefully he'll be okay. Now they're going to take him, I think, as a precautionary method. Barry and Rich are going to take him to the hospital tonight and really keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, but he
got rocked. Whoa.
It was basically a one-punch knockout, although he had been softened up just a bit right before that. But watch the way he keeps his left hand extended, Wilson. He leaves it out there too long, and Witherspoon comes right over the top of it. You'll watch the left hand that Wilson throws. There it is, and it leaves himself wide open. He had his left out and low, and Witherspoon, as we mentioned, comes right over the top with those roundhouse right hands. And Witherspoon could have hit him here, but as Barry said, in the sportsmanlike fashion, just backed off. He knew it was over at that point.
Let's go to Amy Hayes and make it official. Amy?
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute, 2 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by knockout, terrible, Tim Witherspoon.
Tim Witherspoon with a second round knockout. And Sean O'Grady up in the center of the ring as Witherspoon has his hand raised by referee Kenny Bayless. And Sean, you got it.
Makes it look easy. It just looks at how hard was this fight for you, Tim?
Well, it was kind of hard, but first I'd like to say that I'm glad that he's all right, because you know what happened to Greg Page, and he's older. You know, he could punch. He could punch. I'm just determined that at this stage in the game that I have to get up. I have to get there to the top. I'm right there. I want all the top stuff.
You know, you're always a force in this division as long as you have the power.
Right. As long as I had the right people behind me.
Tonight I saw you going for the body a little bit more.
Yeah.
You were working the left hook. What's happening?
I just was doing what comes naturally. You know, I've been fighting for all these years. I'm 44. I'm happy.
What's happening here? Tell me what's going on through your mind.
Well, I'm just, you know, I heard the corner. Oh, well,
we can see what's going through his mind.
That was my signature punch, the overhand right.
Yeah.
But I was trying to work the body. When the first round, I hit him in the body, and I noticed that it hurt him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I know my jab could work. I felt a little still.
Did you see where in that first round you really hurt him? Because I noticed he started backing off. Is that what told you you nailed him?
Yeah, that did. Once us old experienced guys see daylight, once they see daylight, we gonna make the light shine brighter, and that's what I did.
How about that light right there? The daylight you hit him. Why didn't you stepped up though? You knew it was over.
Yeah, I knew it was over. I'm just glad that he's not hurt. You know, I'm really serious about people getting hurt. You know, I'm really sensitive.
You know, you look in championship form against Darrol Wilson.
Yeah.
But how many more? You don't want this fight. I mean, you want to fight the heavyweight championship.
Oh yeah. Well,
how far are you from heavyweight championship form?
I don't know. Me and Dan Goosen, the guy who really looked out for me when nobody else would.
Of course.
You know, gave me this opportunity, and we just gonna up at the level at the let's go the top five.
Sign up and sign up as long as you have power.
Train hard. Michael Moore, all those guys, you know.
Yeah, bring them on.
I'm just glad you gave me an opportunity. That's the
and
point.
Dan Goosen, how about Tim Witherspoon? I mean, he's not a young man anymore. He's got to get with the program.